Hi, friends. We are back talking about PrEP today. And today we have with us Dr. Rifa Khan, who's been working in public health and control of infectious diseases for the last 3 to 4 years. Welcome, Rifa. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, Anamika. Thanks for the introduction. I'm a clinical epidemiologist for the Vayar Gaitonde Center for AIDS Research and Education. I've been working in this field, as you mentioned, since 2017. As a clinician, I attend to patients of all age groups with infectious diseases like sexually transmitted infections, mostly HIV, and other infectious diseases like TB, and now, of course, COVID.
So, Rifa, in terms of prescribing PrEP, has the COVID scenario changed anything in terms of what patients are going through, what they need, access to care, etc.?
Definitely. One example that comes to my mind is a 25-year-old young man who basically believes that his sexuality is fluid, and he has been exploring his curiosity since he was 19. He has been proactive about his health ever since the first episode of date rape at the age of 22. And he's in a stable relationship now, but work keeps him away from his partner for long stretches of time.
Mm-hmm.
And during this lockdown, he was away from his partner, and unfortunately, he couldn't make his way back home. So he felt lonely and found some reasonable company, in a stranger who he met online. Now, the experience for him, unfortunately, was not memorable. And he was tested for HIV. Fortunately, he was negative. But it did lead to some, sort of concerns and paranoia also as to how frequently one needs to test for HIV if they are on PrEP. In this case, this patient was a proactive patient already on PrEP, and he tested negative for HIV, and we did reassure him that he needs to test only once in every 3 months. Ideally, the test should be a fourth generation ELISA, in the absence of which one will have to do a third generation ELISA, followed by a viral load. But doing that obviously incurs a double cost, so it's better to get tested at a good, a certified laboratory with a fourth generation ELISA once in 3 months. Of course, these are unprecedented times where we're in the middle of a pandemic, and it may happen that one has no access to PrEP. So while PrEP can give someone the confidence and the surety of preventing HIV, in the absence of PrEP, it is advisable to use a condom always.
Are there any other concerns? Are there any other kind of patient profiles that you've been seeing in this time?
Yes. Another example I can tell you is that of a young couple. This is a serodiscordant couple, which basically it means that one of the partners is HIV negative, and in this case it was a newly married couple, and the spouse in this case, the gentleman was HIV positive and the lady is negative, and they were eager to conceive, and they had unprotected sex during this time. It was later found out that the man was viremic, right? Viremic means the level of HIV virus in the blood is high enough to infect the partner. By the time they reached us, it was obviously beyond 72 hours, so post-exposure prophylaxis would not work. So in this case, what we would do is, first test the gentleman for viral load, monitor his viral load, and make sure his health improves before they actually try to conceive again. And as far as the lady is concerned, we would have to again test her for viral load and then start her on PrEP if they intend to conceive, provided the husband is now in better health, right? And another example is that of a virally suppressed, partner, and the spouse is negative for HIV. In this case, the question often is that does one need to take PrEP if the partner is virally suppressed? Because now research shows that if one has undetectable viral load, it's considered that HIV is untransmissible. So the only pitfall here is something called as viral blips, which can occur even in those who are virally suppressed, and this basically means a random occurrence of increased viral load of around 200 copies, even in those who are virally suppressed. So to just ensure safety on all grounds, you offer PrEP to the partner who is negative for HIV. So in this case, this couple, they've gone on to have a successful conception and an unremarkable antenatal period, and hopefully they'll have a healthy child delivered soon.
Right. Are there any other challenges, any other profiles you can think?
One particular one that I definitely need to touch upon is a 32-year-old transgender, a lady who identifies as being trans, and she had some concerns regarding her ongoing hormonal therapy, and if at all PrEP would have any interactions with this, or would there be any weight gain, or and so in this case, PrEP is considered to be relatively safe. And without interactions with her hormonal treatment, I would definitely advise to continue living a healthy life wherein you incorporate adequate exercise and a good nutritious diet to make sure that there's no weight gain, of course. The other issue with the same patient was regarding her in her line of work, she may meet someone where she's not able to negotiate the use of a condom, and in these cases it may be better for her to be on PrEP. She is very proactive about her health in other manners, wherein she does get tested once in 6 months. So having PrEP is an additional tool, as far as her health is concerned.
Um, Rifa, are there any last notes or specifications you want to leave us with?
Yes. So while PrEP has been found to be extremely effective in terms of prevention of HIV, it does not protect you from other STIs. I would say that in the absence of a condom, one should get tested for other STIs such as gonorrhea, chlamydia, and syphilis. These are infections that are treatable, and left untreated, they can have long-lasting complications, including infertility.
Are there any last thoughts you want to leave our audience with?
Well, it's been 30 years since HIV surfaced and has been part of our reality. And in these 30 years, I think PrEP is definitely a landmark discovery, and it will change the course of prevention of HIV and improve the quality of life of those who are partners of people who are positive with HIV.